hello, and welcome to the Super Business Women Show, Financial Power Hours on Intellectual Radio. It's your girl CEO, Lexi, giving you all things couture. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in and joining us this evening. I am here with my fabulous co-hosts.
Shavana from Anointed Accounting. Hey out there, great big world. How y'all doing today?
Hey there, it's Sharon Locked, Love Loans and Lifestyle.
And it's Crystal Lewis. I'm your local realtor here in Illinois.
Fantastic. So we have a great show lined up tonight. We're going to give you guys some gems and some information before we get into Shar Unlocked with the love portion. I don't know what we're going to call it that. I don't think we came up with anything with that yet.
I think Love Potion is really good because when you just feel love and it's just exhilarating and take over your body. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, to get into my portion, I'm going to actually be talking to you about music things because you guys know that's my baby, that's my heart. So to start things off, this is actually something I talked about with my co-host about when we started marketing for this show, is the importance of press kits and EPKs. So if anyone doesn't know what that is, an EPK is an electronic press kit, and it's basically a high quality online portfolio. It's created to showcase everything about you, your biography. In music, we use it for a biography, a discography, your music videos, your contact information, your social media. It's basically a one sheet with all your information on it. And this is super helpful for musicians because when you're looking to go onto like a big tour, a major tour, that's what they'll ask for, the tour managers. They're going to ask for that EPK. Oh, your photos, of course. Shar has a beautiful EPK. She does. Hers is fantastic. So shout out to whoever designed that. And
The content creator that these kids are talented that I work with.
yeah, yours is really nice because I get a couple that come through, and I created myself, so I was just like, okay, I see you. It's nice, but they're super important to have in music, but also in business. For situations like this where it was just like, bam, here it is. Got it for you. They do range from like $500 to $2,000. It definitely depends on a few factors. Some of them do include like photography, which is nice. So, if you do work with designers that offer those services, it's kind of like a one-stop shop. Couture does that.
I have a quick question, Lexi.
Yeah.
With the EPK for outside of music, is it considered an EPK in regular business as well?
It's a press kit.
It's called a press kit.
The E part is electronic.
Gotcha.
Right. So yeah,
it's an EPK regardless.
Yeah,
Okay.
Press kit EPK.
Okay.
I just wanted to break down the acronym for EPK because it can get a little confusing.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of cheated. My son did the photos. And
Did your son took those pictures?
Yes.
Are you serious? He's
Yes.
fantastic.
All the photos I've done the last 3-4 months, he does them.
Wow.
I think he needs to come and take our photos.
Absolutely.
I told him he's open to it. I told him I was there yesterday taking photos. I told him he's open to it. They have a bunch of stuff going on. So when I saw how he was handling his business, I'm like,
does he? So he does photography professionally?
So no, he's in law school. He's
of course.
Yeah.
You can't just do one thing though, right?
Right. He's my kid, right? He does things in entertainment. He throws very successful parties. He has a huge presence on social media, and he does skits and all. It's young stuff.
This young stuff is crazy.
Young stuff. Yes.
The young stuff on the
Young
social medias.
Yes.
Positive stuff.
So he's really good with, he has the attention of the young people. So, he had one luncheon and it was 750 people.
That's great.
That's excellent.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, yeah, we definitely need to have him come do our photo shoot because I could have swore that was a professional. He
does. He has a studio.
Okay.
He set up a whole, his mama not going to let him just do the half.
You can't just
take
a couple pictures.
So there's a studio and it's great location. It's small. It's intimate. But yeah, the photos, I'm excited. I did some ones yesterday that were really nice.
Where is he at?
Ooh.
You said he has a studio. Do
The
share.
studio is, I want to say 1200 35th Street, West 35th Street. It's
Okay.
it's in the building. I forgot what the building's called. It's like the Art Center or something like that.
So that's like the South Side of Chicago, correct?
It's the South Side of Chicago.
Okay.
Does he have a name for the photography portion?
Um, I don't know. I'm gonna have him call me.
There we go. There we
Yeah,
go. We
have
get
him-
some information on that
Have him
because
down
yes,
708
I'm about to call him.
8953. Give us some information.
I'm about to call him.
so there's really not much else about press kits other than you need one, especially if you're in entertainment and business. They include your biography, they include your photos, they include the electronic ones are PDFs, and I like those because it actually has the hyperlinks,
Mhm.
so it's interactive. So like when you send it out in an email, they could just click on whatever your social
Right.
media
Mhm.
or your
Right.
pictures or your photos, I mean your videos, the links to your YouTube, things like that, and it's
Mhm.
just like very interactive. So they're really really great to have. It's a great tool to have, and I'm one of those people that definitely believe in if you stay ready you don't have to get ready. So if you are in business, if you are in entertainment, you should absolutely get a press kit. And again, shameless plug, I do them myself. www.couturemusicmgmt.com/marketing materials for all of those products and services that I provide under Couture. So that's my segment, which is pretty sweet and short.
I have a question for you.
Oh, yay.
How long does it take to get a press kit back from you?
That is not a fair question for me.
Do tell why.
Okay, because so I have ADHD, as we all know already.
Oh, I
Me
didn't know
too.
that.
So I work. I said it last show, so you
Oh, I'm
you
sorry.
probably missed
I was
it.
probably
You
put
missed
in the
it. It's
Twilight
fine.
Zone. That's
No.
okay. In my own world of
No,
life.
you're good, Crystal. So I work a little bit faster than people that don't have ADHD. We'll put it like that. So I tend to get most of my work done within 24 to 48 hours. However, since I do have a lot of clients and I do have a workload that I have, I do tend to tell people, give me a week or two just for that buffer. But, if it's definitely something that I know my client needs sooner than later, I can absolutely have it within like 48 hours.
Perfect.
But I would not say that that's an industry standard time frame,
Right.
and I don't want anyone to be like, hey, maybe I should work harder and faster. No, don't. It's
That's actually really good because I was told 2 weeks when my son told me I needed one. He said, your biography, you really need one to be out here.
yeah.
And I'm thinking, I start calling around, and you're absolutely right. It was 2 weeks,
And I
10
send out,
days, 3 weeks.
I think because I've been doing this so long, I send out I have questionnaires for everything. So like if somebody doesn't have a biography, I have like a questionnaire that helps me write the biography out for them, really simple. And I use that actually with my interviews too, to do my write-ups. I have like interview questions that just makes it so much more easier to create that article or that write-up. So
That's phenomenal.
thank you.
One-stop shop.
Yeah, so a couple of us need some press kits over here. I ain't gonna point them out.
Mine. Thank
I
you,
ain't
Johnny
gonna point
the
them
Goat.
Well, Crystal, I think she's talking about you and I since her and Shar have one.
I can
You-
definitely use one.
You get
Yes.
the hint, right? Okay.
Yeah, because I do a lot of my own self promotions for myself.
Yes.
And I also want to make sure that I'm always having my things aligned properly. I've looked into it several times,
Yeah.
and quite often it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, I can
get
Yes.
To the capacity the way that I would like to do mine. So what I normally do is I'll Google someone that's in the entertainment business. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've spoken to people that do this prior, and what they have is it's aligned a certain type of way where you
Mhm.
can tell that a person has done it correctly. So a
Yeah.
press kit is a certain amount of talk shows that you do, a
Mhm.
certain amount of interviews that you do. You have yourself aligned in magazines. Am I
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, anything that's really like pertinent to, so like in entertainment, that's going to be, you're going to have more things in it. Since I'm a music executive, I have like the awards I won and things like that. So if you have but no matter what industry you're in, if you've won awards and things like that, you definitely want to put your accolades on there, your education. It's basically a big, beautiful,
Right.
what do you want to call it? Presentation of yourself.
Correct. I'm
Yeah.
I'm Googling it now so that I could just show you what I'm
So
talking
someone
about.
from the music industry will look totally different with someone in the fashion world.
Yeah.
Well, but it's still
It'll
similar.
Definitely.
Though.
it'll
It's still
have
similar.
it will
It's
have
still
like the
similar.
same
Concept.
Layout.
same
Right, same
layout,
layout.
similar layout. Like we're gonna
Right.
obviously have the biography and things like that, but the music won't be there unless
Right.
they happen to do music
Right.
too.
Yeah, so it's similar. Like it's like your biography. I'm trying to Google it. My stuff is moving slow. I don't know why, but when you Google it, if you like Google Cardi B,
Yeah.
or Google a big real estate person.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's good to have those like on my
He told me
website.
$5,000 to do all
It,
Yeah.
it can get up there.
Yeah.
It can be very
That's what they were telling
expensive.
me. Mhm.
With that price, it should include more than just the basics.
Photography.
Yeah, it should include the
Yes.
photography and things
Mhm.
like that. I would, and maybe even some print at that price range. You
Yes.
definitely want some print with that. So on my website where my press kit is, it's actually right there. So I have my web page with my information on it, and then I have a link to my EPK right there. So it's all just like simple.
You go, Couture.
Thank you. You know, I've been doing my thing out here.
It's okay. It's okay.
And I'm gonna make sure you guys are right as well. Like, you know, me doing the marketing with our show and stuff. It's really exciting, and I'm excited to get more pictures and content for us to utilize as well.
And of course, we're always picture ready.
Yeah,
Snap, snap.
absolutely. So who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Who's next?
Let's let our financial expert go next.
We going into finance. We giving y'all some financial gems.
You know, the last time I went second, Miss Char Unlocked said that I was just giving her so much anxiety. So
Oh man.
I don't want to open that door again.
Well,
But
when you start throwing the deadlines on us, we get a little nervous because we're like, oh man, she caught us.
well, actually, you know, we are approaching the deadline because we are in Q4, right?
Yes.
We're, you know, in November. And of course, everyone is closing out tax year 2024 and getting ready to open up 2025. So right now is the time where, again, people are getting ready to receive their W-2s and planning for tax time and, you know, stuff like that.
Same.
So we want to get ready for that and be prepared. So the tips that I can start by giving you is, first, if you have relocated, if you have changed jobs, if you have multiple jobs,
Okay.
if your mailing address differs from where you want to receive mail at, you want to update your HR and or payroll department so you're able to get your forms on time. Because sometimes when you don't have those forms and you're ready to file, that'll slow up your process. Some companies probably will get it to you within 24 to 48 business hours, and then some will say, well, you have to wait 30 days or we have to mail it to you. And technically, they're correct because they have to have this stuff mailed out by January 31st or they get penalized. And so no company wants to get penalized and pay all those penalties when we've neglected as employees to say, hey, I've changed my address. Hey, I don't want you to mail it to me anymore because I just don't want to go through the mailing system. Can I get it emailed or potentially can I pick it up with my check? And those are some options right there for, you know, people that's getting ready to close out this year and they're wondering what the next steps are.
That's some fantastic information
Yes,
there. Them
yes.
financial gems from our financial film.
Yeah, also, you know, since we're talking about that and people just love talking about taxes, right? Because of refunds
We
and
wake up to talk about taxes every day.
every day, every day.
I just you. It's not-
I'm about to say,
I don't.
because I'm thinking, am
you
I
don't?
missing something?
I dread it.
Yeah. Sarcasm.
I dread
Okay,
it.
I'm like, I'm missing something.
No, so you never want to dread that because that's like a part of you, right?
That's true,
Because
I agree with
because
that.
it's finances, right? It's your finances, regardless to
How you like it or not.
We don't have to
Exactly.
like it, Shavana. We just have to like that you
Yeah,
like it.
let you
Well-
like
well,
it.
see,
Because
no,
it's
that-
your area of expertise.
And I like that you like it,
Well,
so I
see,
can.
so we
well,
can
see,
give
no,
it to
I,
you.
I don't like it. That's the discrepancy. I don't like
But
it.
you
I
just told us
actually
we
love
have
it.
to. Oh, there it
I
is.
love it.
There
So
it is.
so it's a difference.
See.
So I can
That's
talk about
passion.
it
See,
every day. It's definitely a passion, and you definitely have to have a love for it. And what I don't want to say love, you have to have an excitement for it. It has to get you going. So what gets me going is the IRS. Like I love the IRS. A lot of people don't. You hear IRS and it's like,
they
no.
coming for my coins.
Right. But I love the IRS.
I'm
Like,
shaking my head.
why?
There's nothing I like about the Internal Revenue Service.
Do tell why. I would like to know why.
I have no rights with them. They're gangsters. They take my money. What do you mean?
No, they don't take your money. They
Well-
don't take your money.
well,
Let's start there.
Who am I giving it to?
Well, if they're collecting money from you,
They're
apparently
taking my hard-earned money.
they're not taking it. I can almost promise you they're not taking it. Now, can they or will they take it? Absolutely.
Well, let me put it like this. They make me give it to them.
So,
Same difference.
Siobhan, so are you saying that there is a way that you can deal with the IRS if you have the correct tax preparer working with you that makes it so that it's not bad for those who have, let's say, whether it's a big stipend that they have to pay to the IRS,
Absolutely.
or if they have to pay back the IRS somewhere in there because they weren't, necessarily doing things aligned properly that they knew of at that time.
Wait. I do everything I'm supposed to, but according to certain tax brackets,
And I'm gonna talk about that.
they
Miss Shar,
they
a
make
lot.
me pay them.
Right, but well, of course, you do have to pay taxes, right? We that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pay taxes. We're gonna live, and someday we're all gonna go see our father, right? But
This lady is excited about the IRS.
I am. I love the Internal Revenue Service, and if anyone from the Internal Revenue Service is listening, I know they're actually smiling themselves because they love their jobs, right?
And if you love your job, you'll never work hard a day in your life.
That part right there. So, I do believe in working smart, and I do believe in putting your best foot forth in any and everything that you do, because that's just going to give you that extra burst of energy that you're going to need. So it it definitely gives me joy when I meet someone and they say, well, oh my God, I hate the IRS. Oh my God, they took my money. Or I like the people that see an IRS letter and just put it back in the mailbox. Or they just don't look at
I
it.
don't.
Is that you?
Yeah.
So that's me.
Maybe not back in the mailbox, but I definitely have a pile of letters that okay.
And see, you don't
Immediate-
want to do that.
I need to deal with, and it's going to take Jesus to push me in that direction. Those are my 3 pals.
So when people have a good relationship with the IRS, is it because they have a good tax preparer?
That's one of the reasons you have a excellent tax preparer. And the other reason is you have some people that just don't mind picking up the phone saying, hey, look, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't afford an accounting agency. I don't want to continue to trust friends and family every year to do my taxes and handle my finances. Is there someone there that can potentially help me or guide me? There's a lot of information on the Internal Revenue website, and sometimes it may not be user friendly, but that also goes back to not knowing the keywords to search or what to put in. That could also go back to what questions need to be asked and what is your purpose for calling the Internal Revenue Service. Everything has a domino effect. Everything. So it starts from beginning to end. And that takes me back to those taxes that people get so excited about when they file. And when they file, they're expecting this enormous,
5 million by 3 p.m.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, on time, and it better not be late.
Big bills.
There you go, right
Drop
there.
it off on my porch.
And when they look and they see that they gotta pay that money, then it's
No.
an issue, right? It's like, why do I have to pay? And again, that's because there's lack of knowledge there when it comes to filling out those beginner forms when you start working, whether you're a private contractor or you're an employee, you have a W 4. If you're a contractor, you have a W 9. You also need to know, Miss Shar Unlocked, what tax bracket you fall in. What is your income? Are you putting down the correct exemptions? Are you paying estimated tax payments? Are you allowing the federal and state entities to withhold the amount that they're supposed to hold? And if you know that you make an enormous amount of money and you claim five, well, you done got your money throughout the year. You
I,
done got it.
I
You done got
turned the
it.
camera around for those that are on social media so that you
Yes.
could see how excited this woman is
I'm
about you
very
needed to see
excited.
her.
I'm very excited. I love it.
I
I
just
just
think
love
the
it.
whole system is a joke, but that's a whole nother story. They make you work, they take your money, and then
Make
you
you
have
work.
to, the more money you make, the more money they take. So it's almost like a cat and mouse thing constantly on the reel. That's just how my view of it. But I
When you work for
digress.
yourself, I can understand there's a different relationship with it. And in my defense, my pile, it's not a pile, it's a couple, it's probably three envelopes. And the reason it sits there is because I actually called and spoke to somebody, and they told me I had 2 years. And that's the worst thing to do to somebody with ADHD, because I will literally wait
You're
until the last day before the 2 years is up, and then I'll handle it.
But you will get it done.
I'll get it done.
At a,
And there, and it's money sitting there. That's how unmotivated I am until I know it's close to that time.
That's because you have not
Yeah.
visited
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
www.anointedaccounting.com, because there we also like to take that pressure off of you. And just sitting here with you beautiful women, just out of the three of you all, honestly, who likes to deal with their tax situation, in all honesty? Who just for real puts it in a tote in the closet, under the floor, and under that floor, just so they don't have to think about it, right?
I don't do that.
it has to be dealt with. I just don't enjoy doing it.
Yes.
I filed the very last day.
Oh no, oh no.
I'm
Just give
look,
us a call,
I will.
Couture. We got you. We got something special for someone like you.
I
But
appreciate it.
what I say is just don't be scared, and you don't want to wait till that last minute, because sometimes that
Yeah.
last minute will get you in trouble, because a lot of things when you're dealing with the Internal Revenue Service, it's not just always about taxes, right? So what if they're trying to get in touch with you about some information regarding information that they have?
They'll
They
knock on your door.
well, it has to get to that point. But before it gets to that point, you want to stand in front of it. You don't want to run from the Internal Revenue Service. It's one thing you don't want to do. Hey, look, I'm being accountable. I'm honest enough to say, I cannot deal with this. I need some help. And that's another service that Anointed Accounting offers when you're going for jobs. And a lot of companies have also taken the training out of helping people that come in, because they expect you to know, right, how to fill out these forms. But in all actuality, a lot of us just don't know how to fill out Form W-4 or Form W-9. Those forms are very, very important, and that's where that trickle down effect comes. So if you don't fill it out right, and you file your taxes and you end up owing 4 or 5 thousand, you're totally upset, right? And that's just to one
I wouldn't
entity.
be.
That's just to the federal entity. That's not including the state. But if you were educated and you had that foundation and you had that knowledge directly in front of you, and someone was saying, hey, look, pay estimated tax payments. If you're going to go exempt because you need this at that moment, pay those estimated tax payments. Pay more money into, and the estimated tax payments is actually for you as well. Because if you're self employed and you retire, there's no one matching your fringe benefits. So you have to pay into that. So that's actually helping you for when you retire. But again, because we don't know, we don't know the questions
Wait,
to ask.
you said something about retirement. Certain words get me.
Yes, yes.
Retirement? Did anybody say retirement?
Yes, that's just paying into your tax situation. So, and let me explain. I don't want you to look like that. So, let's just say me, I'm self employed, right?
Correct.
And I don't get a paycheck that says Social Security and Medicare because another company,
Neither do I.
oh, right. And that's because another company isn't matching your fringe benefits, right?
Right.
So, when it's time for you to retire and potentially collect Social Security, you want to have something up there, correct?
Oh, they don't pay in a Social Security for us. We don't get Social Security.
But that's where you pay into it at. That's where those estimated tax payments come in at, off of the money
Oh, for the
that you're
40
making.
credits?
The 40 credits?
Yeah, it's 40 credits in order to get it.
Yes, but you still want to have a bulk of money sitting there for you. So when you do retire, guess what? You're pulling down your money because that's money that you put in there to sit there.
Okay.
The same way that you do is when you working a job. You're just that's what you're speaking of, right? You're just putting
Yes.
it into it for
It's the
yourself.
same. It's the same deal, right?
Yes, but you're just paying into it. So when you get a check, it's somebody matching this money that you're getting. So you're not looking at it from that standpoint.
Are we talking about Social Security or what are we
We're
talking?
talking Social Security is a part of your fringe benefits that come out of a paycheck. So if you look at your check stub, it'll say federal withholdings, Social Security,
Yeah, I don't. We don't pay.
FICA,
They don't pay in a.
Medicare.
I don't pay in a Social Security, so
What do you pay into?
a pension.
A pension fund. Okay. But you did know that you can get pension and Social Security if you qualify, right?
I qualified already, babe.
So see, she's ready.
That's why I know about the 40 credits.
She's ready. I like that. I like when people like Shar Unlock come because they're ready. They've educated themselves. They've gotten enough knowledge to know, whereas if I do this, I do this. I may not be happy with this outcome, but I'm happy with this right here because I've took the steps that I've needed to take. So now let's take more steps to get you more prepared for what's going to happen. Because remember, tax laws change every year.
And I got a feeling because of the shift in power in government that we will see a substantial change yet again.
We definitely will see a substantial change, definitely. And that's where I come in at, for those individuals who just don't have time to do the research or sit online and look for information and say, hey, I'm sending all this information out to you because I want you to know. Even though I'm your accountant, even though I'm backing you, I still want you to be educated. And I can back up that information because I've done the research, and I'm going to a reputable site, the Internal Revenue Service.
Or people like me who just choose not to be bothered with it. That's something I don't enjoy doing.
You're gonna enjoy it once you call me. I promise you're gonna enjoy it.
She said, we're going to enjoy you doing it for us. That part.
Okay.
Well, are we good on the taxes? I got a couple of taxes that bleed over into the real estate, if that's good with you.
Oh, taxes go into real estate as well.
Okay.
So, I can put a halt to it just
Okay.
because I love talking about it. I'm not going to take over the whole show.
But did you want to wrap up what you were saying that we need to get done because we're in the fourth quarter?
Yes, so
Just-
you definitely want to let your employers know if you've relocated. Update all your information. Please update your information. That's so important. Also, if you, as an individual, even as a business owner, you want to know what's attached to your name and your social, I encourage you to go to www.irs.gov and create that IRS IDV account, because what they see on you financially, you will be able to see. That's also important going into this fourth quarter. I'm sorry. Also, if you're going into new ventures, and let's just say you're up for a new raise or more money coming in the current year, you want to know what tax bracket you're going to fall in. So you want to start getting that information together. You want to reach out to someone like Anointed County so we can help you get started with that. So yeah, and if you're buying a house, you're definitely going to need some financials prepared. You're definitely going to reach out to anointed accounting as well. Yes.
There it is.
So, any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 708-223-8953. And I'm going to turn this over to none other than Crystal.
Our savvy investor.
Okay, so I was getting ready to ask you some questions about taxes.
Yes.
Regarding, I was going to bleed over into that. So, in here it says that you may enjoy tax benefits uh, doing from investing in real estate. So inside of here, it says that the IRS allows investors to deduct expenses involved in their real estate investment business if they can prove materials participation. So I was wondering if you could give us a little feedback on that.
So, with any business and not just real estate, you can you have to claim and report your income, but you also are able to write off expenses. And you want to have proof of those expenses. So you can't say that I'm a real estate owner and I want to write off the floors and stuff that I purchased for this building that I'm about to sell, but actually the floors that you purchased is for your bedroom. That's not going to work. So you want to be able to show your proof, and if you're using your company or your agency for expenses that you want to have good bookkeeping records, which means you're going to want someone to take care of your bookkeeping. You're going to want your chart of accounts set up accurately, and that's where anointed accounting comes in at. So you do have write-offs if that was your question, and I hope I'm answering it.
Well, yeah, like you can write off your mortgage interest.
Yes.
You can write off the depreciation of your real estate.
Yes.
You can also write off some of the cost of running your business, such as materials, if you're able to prove that you have actually been impacted by those costs.
That's correct.
And then also these kids will mess my whole life up. I'm in my groove, talking my stuff,
I have a question
and
for
then
you.
I get a text message.
Maybe they have a question
They're
about
required,
taxes.
Tell the
right?
kids to call in. No, I'm just kidding.
Please,
There
I
are
don't wanna be
requirements.
bothered.
There's a
Mom, we're
list of
out of milk.
requirements that goes along with the write-off, so people will know what they can and cannot write off. Correct?
Yes, there are a list of requirements, but for those individuals that don't have that time to read,
Well, the accountant, someone like you would know.
yes, yes. And you would definitely give us a call, set up that free 1 hour consultation just to get that knowledge and that information. Yes, I did say
For
free.
free for an hour?
Yes, you get
can't beat that.
60 good minutes with anointed accounting. 60 good free minutes with anointed accounting. Because again, we believe in educating you. I'm glad that you trust me. I'm glad that I have that relationship and that foundation with you. But I I also would encourage you to do your own research, because I may say something that's incorrect just to see if you catch me. Because if you don't catch me, then my question is going to be, what are we doing here?
You
Not
gonna
that I
set me
want
up
you
for
to be
failure.
right. Not that I want you to be an expert in it, but I do want you to have some knowledge of what you're doing, because not only is my name attached to it, your name is attached to it as well.
Makes sense.
And I think that's important.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that the listeners knew that there are benefits that come from tax breaks from also being involved in real estate.
It's definitely benefits.
So I wanted to discuss why you should invest in real estate. Now, I think a lot of times people don't understand that. For me, when I started doing real estate on a professional level, I got the understanding that when you purchase your own property, that is an investment in real estate. So you're invested in real estate when you purchase a home, which is a very important mindset to have. So you have the residential properties, which you can purchase single family homes. That's where you own your property. But the good part that comes into that is that you're able to, every time you make that mortgage payment, you're paying into the equity in the home. So when you need to make some business transactions or some moves, or you just need some money to put your kids through school or whatever you may need that money for, you have that money sitting. So that's one of the wonderful benefits from purchasing from the residential side. From the commercial side of investing, you also have, with the commercial property, it says that it allows you to diversify and you have more potential rental income. So that's the wonderful part about, like, when you go and you purchase property in a mall. to lease it, you have more benefits from that. So that's one of the wonderful things. And what we specialize in is the house flipping, the investment side of it. So that's where we help you find wholesalers, we help you find investment properties, and from there, we make sure that the deal is done correctly. And from that aspect of it, we have to make sure that the after repair value is there. We have to make sure that everything is measuring up for the client for them to be able to make a profit off of that flip investment. So for me, what I've learned inside of the real estate business is that I think a lot of times people want to purchase homes that are already done. And I think that that's a nice way to do it. And I think it's a few different ways to do real estate. But from me going inside of these homes and then speaking with other people that have already purchased their homes, a lot of times it's not insulin inside of the walls. Things are not set up properly. So to me, if you find a great piece of property and you're building it and you're specializing it and you're putting it for yourself, you know exactly what's inside of the property. So I do like that part of it.
Well, what about the inspectors? Because when you have an inspection done, those are things that should be discovered during an inspection.
That is true, but it's always not discovered. It's always not discovered. So I mean, it's to me, it's whichever one you want to do. So if you want to go and you want to purchase a home that's already beautiful when you walk in and it's already done, that's fine. But the inspector doesn't necessarily know for a fact that there's not insulin behind the wall.
There's ways they should be able to tell.
Well, I have a girlfriend that purchased her home and she said that she thought it was already done, fabulous and everything. And then when she started doing some rebuilding of the property herself, she said that she found out it was newspapers in the walls and all types of crazy stuff.
Then that's where the lawsuit, that's where the attorney comes in.
Goodness.
Well, that's true.
For the inspector, on the inspector,
Yeah.
and also the buyer. I mean, the seller.
Right. That can happen. But from me just stepping inside of the investment side of it and walking through the properties, my mindset kind of went into, well, when you purchasing them yourself and you know what's going on. I think a lot of times people always want to go get something that's already built and already done. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
If that's what you want to do, that's fabulous. It's a lot of fabulous homes. But I mean, you can have a warranty on your home for the roof and then it starts leaking. But if you do it yourself, you know exactly what's being done.
So I think there's a market for both groups, to be honest.
That's my point.
Yes. Someone like my mom, she's not interested in building step by step by
Mhm.
step. But then someone like me, I get excited with that.
Correct.
So there's a market for both.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like for me, when I started getting into the actual investment side and walking through the properties and embellishing it myself, I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool because when you get these other properties, you don't know what's going on with them. With it, when you get them from the investment side, you're purchasing them at a lower value. You're critiquing them for yourself.
That's correct.
You know, so that's kind of what I like for it. But of course, it's whatever someone wants to do.
The home I live in, that's what I did. Step by step, gutted it from the roof to the basement, took it to the nails. But everyone doesn't have
The knack for it.
the knack, the energy,
Yes.
the foresight, and the
That's true.
energy.
So you
because
have to
it-
be a visionary.
So
You
let me
have to
ask
be a
question.
visionary and very patient, because I remember I went to midnights and sat outside at times so that I can watch the contractors, so that I would get a good 6 to 8 hours of work out of them.
And it's a lot.
You got to get it's work.
It's a lot of work, and it's not for everyone. It's a lot of work. I mean, with my property that I'm in, I thought you don't think you know something until you get in it.
Right.
So I thought that I knew what I was doing, and then when I started getting in it on my own, I realized there's so many things that these people did not do right in my home.
I had the benefit. My ex-husband's a contractor, so I was married to someone who was a contractor.
That's a
So
big benefit.
that's a huge benefit. So I've helped with invoices, contracts, and at the time he was just a phone call away, like, hey, this is what's going on. Come take a look at this or send someone over. So I had a benefit in that.
So let me ask a question. So I'm what they call someone I just want to step outside the box. So for a new homeowner such as myself, I want extremely high ceilings. I want maybe purple gravel at the bottom of my pool. Like I just want to go all out. So would it be best if I buy land or and build on my land to build how I want my first home to be? Or would it be best if I just go buy something and rebuild from that?
That's going to depend on
It's
a
up to-
number of factors dealing
Right.
with you and your spouse. That's going to depend on your there's a lot of factors that's going to go into that decision.
And it's what you want.
Right.
It boils down to what you want. In my opinion, from this is just my own personal
Right.
opinion,
And that's what I'm asking.
right, which doesn't really matter 100% unless you ask like you did, because I'm gonna give you whatever it is that you want.
Girl, I
you
want a
know.
purple house, 4 stories.
But I think it's good to do it yourself.
You know
if
what
you can.
You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like a 3-unit building
Mhm.
that you gut
That's what I'm talking about.
and put it together yourself exactly the way.
High
And guess
ceilings.
what? You can get a 203K loan to
There you
do
go.
it.
Exactly.
Okay,
There it is
okay.
right
I have
there.
a real estate question.
Okay.
Going back into talking about inspectors, I know you were talking about as far as like investment properties. So when purchasing a home as a real estate agent, do you recommend like, okay, so say I'm your client and I'm buying a home. Do you recommend utilizing the inspector that the seller recommends, or would you recommend that we have like our own? Like, how
Well-
does that work? Because I have a home.
Okay.
I've been there. We bought it about 7 years ago. Yeah, 8 years ago, and we had some issues that weren't in the inspection report that came about.
From the seller.
The seller provided the inspection.
Well, they recommended the inspector.
Get your own inspector.
Right. So I would always say it's just like with anything that you do, you always want to make sure it's to the benefit of yourself.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, I think it's always good to get your own everything. So I would definitely get my own inspector. I mean, and as a real estate agent, we're really not supposed to tell you what to do,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
but
Didn't know that.
yeah, but the reality, right, we're not supposed to tell you what to do. But the reality of it is that, I mean, you just have to think about it. If it's going to benefit them for their sale and you're purchasing it for them and they're making that suggestion to you, then they're going to make 8.5 times out of 10, they're going to make sure that it rolls in their benefit. Like when I was doing my condo and I talked to the person these people that I don't like them. And the people, I don't like them at all. And the people that fixed up my place, they recommended someone to me. I listened to them. I didn't use him, but they recommended, and his price was to the roof. So, you have to think about things like that. And then I would also like to say that, inside of real estate, you also can do what's called a RIT. And that is a real estate investment trust. So for people, it's like a stock almost, like a stock. So for people who are a little bit leery about investing in real estate, but you want to get in the game, you can invest in the stock portion of it. It is a very it's not a business. It's a real hard business to me. It is. It's not an easy business. It's not something that you just jump into. I think the same way that you're interviewing for a job is the same way that you should interview your realtor. I think that you should take it really, really seriously because it's your hard-earned money, whether you're doing it from the investment side or whether you're purchasing it brand new from the residential side. It's your money, and you need to be with someone that you can trust and someone that is not putting their benefit all the way first. I mean, we have to make money, but in this business, it is about referrals. So, you want to make sure that you have a good name out there about yourself when doing it.
We have a caller.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
Welcome, caller.
Hello.
Did they hang up?
Did they hang up? Are you still there, caller?
I'm here.
Hi.
I had a question about flipping homes. Do people ever lose money in flipping homes? And if so, what are the factors that could cause someone to lose money when flipping out?
Well, caller, can we have your name first? How you doing?
Oh, my name is Wanda. I'm fine. How are you guys?
We are
Okay.
fantastic.
Rhonda.
Good.
Wanda.
Hi,
Wanda.
Wanda. You definitely can, and I think that Shara and I both can speak to this. You definitely can lose money. So in my professional opinion, like I said, you want to make sure that you have a good realtor if you are in, or a good person that's helping you understand the dynamic of the investment property. You want to make sure that you have someone that has good resources, someone that can get you a good mortgage lender if you need money, someone that can get you private lending if you need that. And I think you always need to pad yourself with at least $10,000 to $20,000 more than what you are estimating the repair value to be for expenses, because there are always going to be unforeseen occurrences that are going to transpire when you're doing this business. So, and you need the comparative market analysis.
Absolutely.
You want to make sure that things are being measured apples to apples. So let's say if you're looking at a single family home that's a 3-bedroom with 2 baths, 1,500 square feet, you want to make sure that the comparative house that you're using is, if not identical, very, very close to identical, because that comp is going to help you make the determining factor about what you're going to do. And also, the way that you put the house together is very important. You want to make sure that you are putting your house together at like a top notch, using good materials, making sure that the interior end of it is A1, top notch, so that you can get the biggest dollar. So it's the bathrooms and the kitchens that are really going to sell to the prospective buyer. So you want to make sure that I would say you're doing that at A plus service if you can. B would be the lowest. I wouldn't do C and D materials. I would use, if you understand what I'm saying when I say A and B.
I do.
Okay.
So,
Sure.
Wanda, I want you to also, if you're getting into that, I want you to make sure that they're doing the absolute most conservative comparative analysis, because that's what they're going to do in the lending aspect of it.
I like that.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling,
Hey,
Wanda.
Yes.
If you need any services, please feel to give me a call. My name is Crystal Lewis. I work with Keller Williams. I'm on the Frank Montreux team, and we specialize in helping people get started in investing. We have everything that you need, private lending, every aspect of it that you would need. And you can find me on Facebook, and also my number if you want to take it down, or I could just say it, maybe you could remember it, 312-877-6687.
Also, Wanda, before you go, speaking on investing and information on real estate, we are all going to be at an event tomorrow called $1 Million of Funding Small Business Summit. And that's going to be at Zicomo Suites from 1 to 7 p.m. That's at 6343 Southwestern Avenue. The tickets are on sale at www.americandreamtaxoffice.net, or you can go to any of our social medias and we have it posted up. So there's going to be a great event full of information on everything investment, business, real estate, and you name it.
Okay, thank you so much.
And then I'll close out by, I always
And thank you
have-
for calling, Wanda.
Oh, I'm sorry, Wanda. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have what's called my investor checklist. So this is what I always give to a potential investor when they're looking for a piece of property. So I always ask them, what is your overall purchase price for your investment? I ask you, how much do you want to get on the return of your investment? I ask you, how much money do you have on hand for the purchase of the property? I ask you, what type of home are you looking for? Are you to flip? Are you looking for frame, brick, bungalows, graystones, multi-units, single families? I ask you how many bedrooms and bathrooms, garages, or both or without. I ask you, are you interested in buy or holds? Those are rental properties. With rental properties, you're always supposed to try to get 1%. That's the number one go-to amount that you ask for when you're renting your property. So if your home is worth $300,000, you want to ask them at the renter for at least 1%, which would be $3,000 a month. Of course, you can go up, but that's kind of the standard. And then I ask you, what's your purchase power for line of credit? Because credit is extremely important. I ask you, how many deals have you closed inside of investing property? I ask you, what areas are you interested in? And then my last question is that you have to give me your proof of funds. I have to know that you can afford this.
Well,
So another question. So when you're dealing with someone, and I see you have your questions readily available, which is good, you're also getting intimate with this person because
Oh,
you
for
want to
sure.
make sure you give them exactly what they want.
Correct.
You're building that relationship
Correct.
and trust with them
Yes. You
because
have
they're relinquishing over
personal.
personal information. And also, if they're a first time buyer, this is something that they're putting their all into. This is
Correct.
something that they want and they've worked so hard to get. So I'm going to entrust this one person to help me build something that I want to see stand and grow and just live so I could live and leave it for my children and my children's
Yes,
children.
it can create
Yes.
generational wealth.
Yes.
For me,
Yes.
I feel like everything is about a relationship. And
Definitely.
it's extremely important that you trust me, I trust you, our energies mix well. And if it doesn't work, I'm okay with it. I can refer you to someone else that might be a better energy source for you. But for me, it's all about the relationship because you are what, like I said, whether it is a residential property for their first home or whether it is an investment property, this is that person's hard earned money that they have worked for. So whether they're borrowing it or whether they're pulling it out one of their bank accounts or their 401k, however they're getting it, it's theirs. So you have to take it seriously. You cannot, so many people are greedy in business. I can't stand it. I don't like greed. I don't like the greed. So many people are greedy. So many people don't want to share information. So many people don't want to share the wealth. It's enough money out here, if you think about it, for everyone to get some, and everyone doesn't get the same amount. Certain people get paid more than the others. But to me, I definitely always want to make sure that I'm handling relationships with care.
And that's excellent because I'm a creature of habit. So if I come by my first home with you and I decide to leave that home and get another one, I don't want to deal with nobody else. You know me.
Here's
I don't want to talk to nobody else. If you sick for the day, then I'm not dying that day. I'm gonna wait till you get better. So having that relationship is very foundational and is a good starting point. And not only that, you know it and you have a love and a passion for it. So that's what's also going to draw that other individual to you and also say, hey, look, I got some other people that need a house. Like, can I refer them
Right.
to
Well,
you?
that's why I
referral.
said earlier, it's so important that you make sure, because as an entrepreneur, your business is based on referrals.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing. But I'm gonna pass this mic over to my wonderful, beautiful co-host here, Shar. She is a wealth of knowledge over here, and she's gonna tell you exactly what she's gonna tell you.
Back to what Shavana was saying. When people are sharing with you their most intimate details of their life, they share more with us in mortgage lending and real estate and taxes than they do with their friends and their family. Oftentimes, people are not aware that they're in financial disaster, they have bad credit. They come to us to entrust us with the most precious information. Integrity is important. I think we keep talking about that. Integrity is important, and that's where the referrals come in at. You have to always ensure that you're doing the right thing for the people. Crystal said it when she said all money is not good money. When she said she don't want every client, I don't either. All money is not good money, and some energies attached to some people will cost me a lot more later. So yeah, I'm not interested in working with everyone. We have to keep that in mind. This is an auspicious job that we have. I mean, we know the intimate details of people's lives, right?
Right. And you can't share that information. Like, you have to take that information to your grave with you. Like, because I'm telling you my deepest secrets.
If you're like me, you're not going to remember. I'm over it 5 minutes later.
Me too.
Yeah, you're not going to remember. It's a form of the ADHD or whatever it is I have going. Honestly, I'm not going to recall. some of the people on live can tell you, they'll call me and revisit a question 6 months from now. And I'm like, yeah, I know you, of course. Hey, girl, what's going on? Tell me the situation again. It's left I have no reason to retain that. So that's the good thing about me. Honestly, I'm not going to remember the intimate details. I'll remember you. And especially if there's a problem, people call me even for conceal and carry and say, oh, I was arrested this day. What does this mean? Can you help me? And I'm thinking, I don't remember.
Oh wow. I remember everything.
People and I remember good stuff, but I make it a point not to retain anyone's information. I can go to the file and open it up. I can check an email, but I should say I have forced myself not to retain that kind of information. And you got to remember too, from different entities, I probably see 100 people a week. I'll remember these people. I create relationships. They're calling me. I know when their kid's birthday, but I don't remember the negative things about them. So that's something that I personally started when I've mastered it. I started doing that 20 years ago. Not to tell my age, right?
We're seasoned, remember? Seasoned.
Thoroughbreds.
God's goddesses.
I like thoroughbred. It don't bother me.
Well, we have to give him a hard time. We can't let him win on anything, right?
Yeah, absolutely not. And are y'all still ready for Brian to come in his yellow suit and sing for us?
No,
Still not ready for that?
no,
Okay.
no.
Okay, well, Brian, if you listening, I'm on your team. I'm gonna be there front and center. I want front row seats, and I'm gonna cheer you on. CEO Lexi gonna host it. Send out all the marketing information. I got you.
I have a question, Shar, about the 203K loan.
Yes.
With the 203K loan, can you wrap that up inside of your actual mortgage loan, or do you have to separate them?
They have to be separated.
Okay.
So I'm going to go through just 5 checkpoints, and it's going to tie into Shavana. It's going to tie into Crystal and Lexi too, because she's like me. She hates taxes. So the couple things that we need to be on point, it's the fourth quarter. We're coming on to tax season. A lot of people will receive a return. I want you to be responsible. I want you to be fiscally responsible with your tax return. Buy a piece of property. You don't have to have the greatest credit at this point. We have a 580 program, right, where you can come in and put 3% down. 600 will get you a 3-unit building at 100%. You do not, I repeat, you do not have to have great credit at this point. You will need closing costs. You will have to have some skin in the game. So do not go and blow your tax return on interest, cars, red bottoms, or whatever else we're doing out there. Hold on to it and get an investment piece of property. You can call me at 312-937-6227. Reach out to Crystal. And if you need credit repair, that's something you need to start looking at right now. I can help you. It's not a big deal. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Everybody has a point where they grow from. So check your credit score. Go to Total Credit Check or Credit Karma. Listen, they're not going to be super accurate. It's just going to tell us the judgments and stuff that are on there. I'll be able to see the delinquencies, but it's not going to be super accurate. Don't call me telling me you own Credit Karma. They had you at 680 and you're 540. That's a possibility there, right? I just want to see the contents that's on the report.
That
Right?
was our Credit Karma
I think
sponsorship.
taking baby steps is good. When
Yeah.
you get involved in it, like you said, run your credit. See how much money it'll take to do something. Don't, like you said, don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. And once you get money, I'm reading on social media that people are planning to spend their taxes and they don't even have it. And it's not on generational things that will provide generational wealth. It's not on investment property. It's not on a single family. You're paying a landlord, but you're interested in going to buy a $10,000 bag. We have to do better, people.
That's true.
S- the second point would have been save for your down payment. A lot of you are getting tax returns back. You don't, that's your savings there. It's seasoned, it's sourceable. Save your tax return. Check your credit score. Don't plan on spending your tax return on anything other than an investment that you can pass on to your children. We're going to need closing costs paid, even if you need to have money in the bank that we can source.
How many months do you have to have it in the bank? Because I talked to some people, they're like, I keep my money in my safe. I'm like, well, you're not going to be able to get anything by having your money in your safe. You need to put it in the bank.
Even if it's in the safe, we can probably source it back as long as it's legal to where it originated from prior to the safe.
Okay.
Say, for instance, I closed a deal in.
That's good information.
Yes, I closed a deal in March. I can reasonably go back, get the settlement statement,
Okay.
and show where I pulled the money out of the bank, put it in the safe, and possibly submit that.
Okay, so you have to have some type of ledger.
It's supposed to be in the bank, but a lot of times you could source it. It just has to make sense.
Okay, right. Okay, I got you.
Right?
But the best thing is to have that money.
Put the money in the bank.
And how many months? Is it 3 to 6 months?
3 to 6 months.
Okay.
We can do 3 months, but if it's large, the larger it is, the more, digging they do. But if it's a tax return, if it's a settlement, if it's a judgment you've won, a lawsuit, that's all sourceable. That makes sense. And if it's in your mattress, I'm going to employ you now. It's November. Put it in the bank. Let's make the sourcing easier. Don't drive the underwriter or the processor crazy, right? Have the loan officer going bald there, right? The last thing I would say for you guys to do is to get pre-approved. Go in, call your loan officer, get pre-approved. That's relatively simple. You're already going to know what's on. He or she is not going to do the pre-qualification after they've looked at your credit report if you're not ready. They're going to give you a set of instructions to follow. You're going to follow those set of instructions, and then you'll be able to get pre-qualified. I can pre-qualify you just by looking at the credit report and the income. That's eyeballing it. But in order to get a formal pre-qualification that Crystal's going to need in order to take you out to look for a home, that's the formal pre-qualification that I'm talking about. You have to have it. Sellers don't want to let you in their home without it because you're wasting time.
Yeah, you do. And the thing is, everybody's time is very, very valuable. And so that's why it is very important, as you're stating, that we get those proof of funds, pre-approvals, because people will run you ragged and try to make you think
and don't have a dollar in their pocket.
You're not lying.
Yeah. Another thing you need to consider is your DTI, your debt to income ratio. Some of us look real good, and our DTI is 70%, right? Your debt to income is the debt you owe versus your income. So there's a formula we use, and in an interest of saving time, we can do that with a one-on-one call. We can go over that with the one-on-one call. However, 312-937-6227. However, the credit card bills, the $10,000 bag, the rent, the car note, the car insurance, all of those things are considered debt, and we consider those in your ability to pay a mortgage. So think about that. Kind of curtail your spending habits when you're thinking about getting a mortgage. And then finally, there are different type of loan options that we have. I talked about a little bit earlier when I talked about the 203K program. There are different we would look at your situation, your total situation, and tell you what you qualify for, even without a formal qualification. So people do that all the time. They call me and say, da, 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 this is my credit score. Um, I ask them the income. A lot of them I know I have relationships because they've purchased before, and we're able to get them into a program. So that's the 5 steps you need to be thinking about in November, going into the fourth quarter, closing out the fourth quarter, going into 2025. You know how everybody's going to start the new me,
Yeah,
new
New Year's
you, new
resolution.
you,
New
new
year, new
year, new
me.
me.
Yeah.
So think of be new for real.
I know that's right.
Change the
some
habits.
goals. Have some goals. Have something that's going to bring you some type of security, as Shar was saying. And back to what Shar was saying, definitely about the debt to income. You always want to make sure your front end meets your back end, because no one is going to give you a loan.
No,
If
your front end has to be a lot less than your back end.
what I mean by that in the accounting industry
Oh,
is
okay.
you can't expect anyone to give you a loan and you make 50,000, your debt is 70,000.
Speaking of that, if you guys owe tax liens or there's tax judgments, those are considered debt too. You have to pay those. If you're on a
You'll lose
payment,
it.
yes. If you are on a payment plan with the IRS, we have to consider that debt too. So you all of those things you need to think about when purchasing a home.
And it's also looked at, you all look at the payment history, if I'm not mistaken, correct? To
Payment
see
history for the IRS. Yes, that goes
it,
into the credit. That goes into the credit. That's
yeah, you also just want to make sure you're above and you're treating this with all diligence that you have. You want to make sure that it's important to you, because it's not going to be important to the person you speak to if they don't think it's important to you. You want to make sure that you're just on top of your game. If you're that excited, as Shar stated, going to buy red bottoms and a $10,000 bag, be just as excited to say, hey, I'm saving this money and it's going to take me some time, but I'm going to have a building or two.
so all those things are good. So don't say Shar said those are bad.
No, I'm not
It's
saying they're
just the
bad.
appropriate time. I would
It's
be a
your
hypocrite. Those things are
it's
wonderful.
your priorities. You want to make sure you have your
Exactly.
priorities in order.
Yeah, be
You don't
good to
want to have a
yourself.
$10,000 bag and ain't got nowhere to stay, right?
As my mother said, when I was 20 and I wanted to go purchase an expensive car. She said, "Where you gonna put it? You don't have any in it. You don't have a brick to put it on." So she made me buy a building first. So with that being said, be good to yourself,
Yes.
but there's time and place to do it all. There's you know, pro- there's life progression.
And I would say invest in yourself. Invest in yourself by purchasing properties, and invest in yourself by making sure that your taxes are making sense for you. That's the smart thing to do. That's how you create generational wealth. And it's good to look good in the process of doing
Please look good in the process. That's important too, right? Looking good helps everything else. It truly does. It helps how people interact with you.
It does. It does.
It does. And also, I wanted to say this. I want you guys to look into getting a trust. If you have property or you're going to purchase a property, look into the protection of a trust. People are getting married, people are getting divorced. If you work in an environment or in a profession that I do, you're susceptible to being sued sometimes, right? So I want you to look
Separate.
into a trust so you can separate your property, your assets from the judgments, the liabilities, the potential judgments and liabilities. So that's important. But speaking of looking good and being good to yourself, I read something this week that was extremely interesting to me. It took my breath away initially. And when I settled into it, I had a few thoughts regarding it. 50% of Black women have never been married and never will be married. Why is that? That's a staggering number. Why is that?
Who's been married at the table?
I've been married.
Ben or R?
No, I've been married. I'm not married right now.
Oh, I thought you were.
No, I'm not married right now.
I've never been married.
Why?
We got to fix that, Crystal. You can't fall into the 50%. I don't like that number for us.
I don't want to be in that 50%. I've never been married, and I will say the reason why I believe that I've never been married, in all honesty, is because I wasn't taking things seriously. I was busy having a good time in life and just not strategizing. To me, marriage is it's a strategy that you should be making for yourself. And the friends of mine that are married, that were married, they plan things out correctly.
I was raised to be married. I was raised in a church. So I was groomed to be a wife. Looks like we have a caller. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Hello, caller. Are you there?
I am.
Hi, what's your name, caller?
My name is Anthony Mitchell.
Hi, Anthony. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain. I just had a question. I couldn't get on the line. I was trying to figure out.
What's your question, Anthony?
My question is, I want to know why is that 50% of African American women never get married?
What's your opinion? That's the question I pose. What do you think? I have my thoughts, but what's your thoughts?
My thought is they haven't been trained how to work together with other people. And I want to get your opinion on that.
So I have a question for you. When you say trained, what do you mean by trained?
Maybe showed or had examples of how to work with other people, the opposite sex potentially.
Well, that's basically that's basically what we were saying, Anthony. My opinion, we all are going to collaborate and have separate opinions about this. Maybe we'll agree, maybe we won't. But one of my opinions, one of my takeaways, as I said, I was groomed to be a wife. I was raised in the church. I saw my grandmother. My mother was a wife. And I was told not to have children until you were married. There was a certain order of progression that I was steered toward. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And that could be why there's a high probability of African American women never being married.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense.
I agree with you on that. I mean, I came from a single parent home. My mother did extremely well, so I was given and handed everything that I wanted, but I wasn't taught that dynamic of how to be a wife.
So, Anthony, do you have any other questions?
No, I just wanted to ask that one particular question. I appreciate your wisdom. I look forward to calling it again.
Do you agree with us or no?
I agree with you.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks,
Thanks for
Anthony.
calling in.
Yeah, sorry
Thank
about
y'all.
that. But I wasn't. I didn't have that. My mom was very classy. She was all of that, but I wasn't raised in that environment. So for me, it wasn't thought in my mind to get married. Even though my mom was married to my dad for a short period of time, I did not think of marriage. And I agree with you. You should be groomed to do that. And even if you're in a single parent environment, you still should groom your daughter how to find a husband.
Well, I didn't know it was grooming at the time. I just know that the church was the center of my life, and everybody I saw and everything I did was centered around marriage. And even when we dated growing up in the church, we dated in groups. So everybody knew everyone, and you like going on a date by yourself with someone was a no-no. So we would all get together and go have pizza. And then there was a singles ministry. So when I look back, I was groomed, to be a wife. I knew what submission meant. Didn't always get it right, but I got married for a substantial period of time. I knew, and my mom and dad subsequently divorced later in life. However, I knew what family was. I saw my grandmother and grandfather, both sides were married. So marriage was what we were supposed to do.
Tyrone said hi, ladies.
Hi, Tyrone.
Hi, Tyrone.
Tyrone, why do you think that 50% of African American ladies do not ever get married? That's high. That's alarming to me.
That is
We
one.
have to do better.
And I don't want to be one of those. I want to be married in the end of all of this.
But there's in order to be married, you guys understand that there has to be sacrifice.
That's it.
It's more than what you give. Like as a mother, I give. Everything about my life is a sacrifice for those kids, right? But when you get married, it's almost like you're coexisting with someone. You run everything by them. This has to be your person.
I agree with that.
You're right. You're actually right. And you touched so many key points. And I think a lot of women are not married because, excuse me, they don't want to cohabitate, or they're so used to being independent and doing for themselves. There's no need to bring on a partner. I can have someone I can call and talk to, but to have someone in my space every single day, that's another reason why I personally believe that a lot of women
We
are
have another
single. We have
call.
a caller coming in.
Hi, caller. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi, caller.
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm fine.
Who's
we
on the
fine,
line?
too.
What's your
So what's the
name?
topic tonight?
Who is on the line?
Well, he doesn't want to. It
Why?
sounds like he doesn't want to give his
I
name.
don't
So
know which name I want to give y'all.
Oh.
just give it to us.
My name is Ken.
Hi, Ken.
How you doing?
We're
What's your question,
fantastic.
Ken? Thanks for calling.
Oh, wow.
Or what do you have? What do you have to say? What's your thoughts about 50% of African American women have not been married and will never be married? What's the contributing factors? What can we do to improve it in your opinion?
Raise more women to be wise from the giddy up.
That's true.
That's true, but what do you mean? What does that entail? What does that look like from your perspective?
Well, right now, trying to get women who are definitely stuck in their ways to change is kind of difficult.
You mean like
And-
thoroughbreds?
You know what?
It's an inside joke. I'm teasing, Ken.
Vintage women
Vintage.
to change their ways. Women I guess women mentally have been put in a position where they had to be everything in their households or in their lives with, raising kids and being single moms. So I get all that. So they're more in tune with being strong women to the point where they're not willing to bend. And so therefore, men that are willing to get married are men who are done chase their careers, done reach the goals of, financially, and now they're ready to settle down. But now that problem between the two is that you have a conflict of interest as far as how the chain of command goes. Women are not willing to relinquish that chain of command until you done, swept everything and, like I said, put them back into their feminine era and get them away from their masculine. And that's very difficult sometimes, especially without communication.
So,
And
what do you mean by feminine era?
Okay.
Just so I can
if we
have
just-
clarity.
Well, say when your grandmother and grandfather courted each other. Women were more in that era, were more into, okay, a man is supposed to provide, protect, and so forth and so forth. And then as the time went on, the man was removed from the home and the woman became everything of the home. So now you're trying to put a man back into the home with a woman who's not used to a man being in the home, whether it's a father or whether now it's her, future husband and lover.
Mm.
She doesn't have experience with the man being in the home and being the head of the household. She don't know how to see, or she doesn't have a visual of what that looks like.
So Ken,
Other
what does the head of the household look like from a man? Because I think that too many men are requiring these things of women, but what are the men willing to do to put the woman in her soft era because I'm soft. I'm not with the hard stuff. I like it easy breezy. You know, I wanted everything easy for me.
But
So I'm
that
all
goes
about
with
being soft.
But
that goes with communication. I mean, a man is gonna. I was raised by all women, so I'm comfortable with women in general and the way you guys do y'all thing. You know, your emotional roller coaster. Some men only deal with women from an outside perspective, whereas everything about me came from a woman's perspective. So I'm very more in tune with how women are and how to deal with them and give them grace or give them a leeway to kind of get themselves together because women can get sidetracked and they can have those emotional ups and downs. A lot of men are not have that experience. So their only experience is what they deal with from social media has ruined a lot of relationships and a lot of faith in relationships, for one. So I try not to use that as an example because that's a whole nother subject. But just in general with man and woman, a man he's the provider, the protector, the steady force, the even keel. Men have to be, we can't be emotional. We can't have an emotional roller coaster. We have to deal with things and keep it moving. A lot of men have emotional roller coasters, which causes women to have their, backlash with men because men want to be argumentative. I'm not an argumentative man. I'm going to let you say what you got to say, and I'm going to let you talk to yourself. Now, when you're ready to communicate, we can communicate.
Not talk to
you
yourself.
So I'm more of a all right, say what you got to say, and then when you're ready to calm down, we can talk.
So,
So I just feel as though from the men that I see, because I deal with men from all different races, and I look at their lives, and one thing I find the difference is their wives are allowing them to go out and bring home the bread.
I'm with it.
Whereas the black men that I work with, they spend more half the day arguing or trying to keep tabs of the woman, or the woman is trying to keep tabs of them. And I'm like, how can you work and you got to be on the phone all day? What are y'all going to talk about when you get off if you're talking on the phone all day at work?
well,
So I see there's a difference, and it's more stressful in that sense where they just go through the motions as opposed to being happy and going out to provide. And then, so it's kind of deal with how people are raised. It's a baseline for this stuff. You have to have a common base, and a lot of common bases are not identical. So they're never going to be identical unless you have communication.
so
And the lack of communication and truth. A lot of people talk just to talk, or a lot of people, say what the other person wants to hear. Nobody is willing to really deal with the truth, or me going to tell you exactly what's wrong with you when it comes to me. And that's some things that people need to hear. Like, I don't like the way you put the toilet tissue on the roller. I like it to flow over the top, and you always make it go under the bottom. People have to have those truths because otherwise you're going to get irritated and not say anything. And then when you're ready to say something, you're at the point where you're ready to blow.
You're absolutely
When it could have been
right.
something as really simple as when you first brought it up. But now I don't want to piss her off because I like her and I don't want her to look at me different, so I'm going to deal with it. But now you enter this relationship, now you can't deal with it no more. I'm never going to watch a Tyler Perry movie with you just because I like you. Because I don't like Tyler Perry movies. So I'm going to tell you through the door.
wait, Ken.
We're not going to sit back and watch Lifetime. Now, if that's what you need to do with your man, then I'm not the one.
Ken, I bet you I can get you to watch Lifetime with me if I wanted to.
can't.
I bet you I could,
I'm
Ken.
going to go watch ESPN, and I'm going to let you have Lifetime.
Ken, there's some good movies on Lifetime.
It's some
now.
good movies
It's
on
some good
Lifetime.
ones. It's
A
some
lot
good
of those good
movies.
movies turn into looking at me now. Oh, so that's what you be doing, huh? Like, I just came here to watch a movie. Now it's all about me.
I think you made some really great points, Ken. I think we need some more Kens in this world.
Yeah,
I
he
agree.
made some valid points, especially with communication. And a lot of relationships just don't have that communication. Or as he pointed out, I don't want to say this to that person because I like him or her and they're gonna look at me differently. No, not at all.
Yeah, you
And,
don't
Well,
want to walk on
and I have
eggshells
this
in a
battle
relationship.
all the time.
Eggshells? Yeah,
See,
that's
I
not a
don't
relationship.
want to rock the boat.
That's
for me being raised by women, I'm never afraid to rock the boat with women
So
because at least you're getting the truth from the beginning instead of getting a representative.
that's true. So there's a couple things that I agree with you on. I've always said, anyone who know me know, I've always said that I want a priest, provider, and protector. People are always clenching their pearls with a priest, provider, and protector. A priest is someone who's going to cover me, who's the head, who knows God, pray for me when I can't pray for myself, right? And if you're the head, you have to be you have to be a person with a relationship with God if you're going to cover me. Being a provider means that the simple things I teach my kids. If you're a man and you're going to get a woman, a wife, don't go get a wife that you need to pay half the mortgage with. Get a house, pay your own mortgage, and allow her to come in and you guys work together, build together. It should be someone of, great integrity and a earner and smart and intelligent, but this ain't a struggle ship. You shouldn't need her to pay your mortgage as a man.
Hello.
That's what I mean by a provider, somebody who's going to, because I'm an earner, I'm going to go and make money and do my thing, right? And a protector. A protector means that you provide a safe space for my heart, my home, my mind, my emotional well-being. And when you said that something about Lifetime movies, I wasn't saying that per se to you. I was meaning that women have a persuasive way of making their guys, husbands, boyfriends kind of come on over and do. When you love somebody and somebody's good to you, you don't mind watching a Lifetime movie. If she's checking all the boxes, doing all the good things, all the right things, you don't mind. My guy wouldn't mind watching a lot. He may grit and be, clenching his jaw through it. But if I'm checking all the boxes, I don't think he'd mind watching a Lifetime movie. So it's give and take in the relationship.
Yeah, and that's what I meant by that. It's like, but there are certain things that, like, like with me, I'm a workaholic, but I love what I do, so it never seems like work. So I guess that's not a negotiating way with me when it comes to my career, because that is the way that I'm able to do whatever it is we want to do. And if you have an issue with that because you're bored, we're going to have problems.
Well, Ken, you have to get someone that understands your work ethic. So it's all about.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I mean by you have to find things that are compatible to your lifestyle, and you have to put things that are non-negotiable on the table in the beginning. Don't wait till you get past the Goo Goo Gaga stages, and now we looking at each other with an attitude.
He's saying
Because
keep it 100 all the
down
way.
in the beginning because
I
you
agree.
were trying to swoo her and court her.
At this age, you're too old to be. What you're saying is you're too old to be playing games. Don't send the representative.
I'm not 17 anymore. We're grown adults with. I'm 3 to 5 years away from retiring, and so my lifestyle will be different once I retire. And if we're not compatible in that sense, where I got 27 years of service and I got 3 years to go, and you just started your career, and we both the same age or around the same age, it's like, whoa, baby, you're gonna have to keep getting up in the morning.
Ken, I got a question for you. So
yes, ma'am.
You sound like you're going to be a candidate for my upcoming platform, Love, Etc. So this platform that's launching next month is a platform for people, men and women, who are interested in long-term and committed relationships. So make sure you come out to one of the panels, you come out to one of the events, join the website. We'll get the information to you.
Okay.
These are going to be quality women looking for the same thing.
I like debating with women and having these conversations with women. Because I'm a truth teller, and so I don't have an issue with those type of forms.
No, it's
Those
not.
type of
It's
platforms.
not. It's about dating. It's about everyone on the platform is going to be
We're gonna
is
date.
looking for it.
Right.
No, not no. You'll find someone that's looking for the same type of commit. Everybody on the platform will be looking for a committed or marriage or a long-term relationship. So everybody will have a commonality.
Okay.
So we're going to find your potential wife is what we're saying.
Oh, see? Okay.
And this is what I asked everyone who tells me they want to be married. I have 2 questions for them. Are you consistent and are you amenable and pliable?
See, consistency is key, and that's one thing that I pride myself on. Being
Okay.
consistent. Consistency keeps you from having unnecessary conversations.
That's true. Well, thank you for calling, Ken. We totally appreciate you for calling in. We need more Kens in the world like you. I think that would help solve our 50% of women, African American women being unmarried.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you,
Thank
Ken.
you,
I appreciate
Ken.
you ladies for having the forum for me to talk.
No
Thank
right.
you very much,
problem.
and I'll definitely look forward to more.
All right.
Yes, join us every Saturday, 3 to 5.
Every Saturday.
Every
Got it.
Saturday.
That's a
Got
date.
Shar, I have a question to something
All
Ken
right, y'all
said.
have a great rest of your evening.
You too.
You
You
too,
too.
Ken.
I heard Ken say that when he speaks to other race of men,
Yes.
and other race of men have it made up in their mind that they're going to take care of their home and take care of their women and take care of the household with their women. I I really think that that concept is a issue for some of our African American men that have that mentality, and I understand it stems from a lot of women having to get out there and hunt and go get the food and put on the whole what's that role when you're uh what kind of
Put on the armor,
yeah, the armor, but it's the type of woman, alpha woman.
alpha woman.
A lot of women have to be the alpha woman to get out there and cook the bacon. But what I think is that, you know, the men need to, and the women need to figure out how to create that soft life and stop saying, I'm not going to do this. You know, we have to split 50-50. I've been paying out, you know, I mean, I
So
just think that's crazy.
everybody has to do what works for them. Some people that get together, they need each other. You know what I mean? It's
Oh, I see
you know how
what
you
you're
say
saying.
trauma bonding, there's financial bonding.
Right.
So
Yeah,
some
true.
people actually need
I
one
agree.
another.
I agree.
But I understand what you're saying
Mhm.
about the demonstrative stance on I don't want this and I don't want that and she wants it goes back even to the question that we talked about last week, or was it week before last, when we talked about first dates and I said my first date was at Starbucks.
Oh, yeah.
And that was one of the
the
most
first.
amazing dates, and I can remember that clearly like it was yesterday. I got to know him. It was just me and him. I forgot it was anyone else in the restaurant at that time.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be a fancy restaurant. It doesn't have to, because I can feed myself. If I don't want to waste my time, I want you to get creative. If I were to date someone, I want you to get creative. I want to listen to a conversation or two I had. What if I say I go walking in the morning? How about meet me with some coffee, going walking with me in the morning? That kind of thing. So I think men are,
And that's helping bring down the softness in the woman at the same time.
I
doing
agree.
something like that.
and also with men, to their credit, women want. We want to go to fancy restaurants. We want to go on trips. We want, gifts and all these things. But there's a requirement that goes along with that when we're asking for that. We're asking these men to give us their hard-earned money. And most men, like Ken said, that are fiscally ready for marriage, that they're fiscally responsible. They're ready for a family. Their finances, their credit, their things are in order. They're ready to be married. They're middle to upper middle class men, and we want them to irresponsibly spend money on us. That's not love.
No, love has to be built.
I mean, but if we're talking about at the marriage point, that's not. I mean, that's not all love. Of course, we all like those things. I love those things, but there are other things that play a part in it. If I met a man and all he wanted to do was take me to restaurants all the time, and no matter how wonderful they were, That's not somebody I'm interested in.
Yeah, because eventually it shows that you just are just trying to show somebody off or whatever it is. That
And
you
if
got
he
going
has the
on.
money, that doesn't mean anything to him. That's not.
Correct.
I'm not an investment.
Correct. I
That's
agree
just
with
something
that.
he's used to doing.
I agree with that. I see it from both. I see it from both perspectives, from both sides. However, a person wants to spend their time, as long as they feel valued inside of that
Correct.
time. And in the end, for me, it boils down to creating that softness inside of both, vulnerability. I'll use that word, inside of both partners. But I have spoken to different men in different races, and when I talk to them, they don't have that mentality. They're not coming up with that conversation that our men have a lot, and it turns me completely off.
Well, our men
that they-
our men have an uphill battle.
That's true.
Our
We
men,
do too, though.
yeah, but our men have an uphill battle. How do we solve it? Because they are apparently getting married. Their numbers don't look like ours. 50% is alarming.
It is alarming, and
Very.
like you said, they are getting.
So we
married.
have to make
Very.
some changes. I asked 2 questions. You have to be amenable and pliable, and you have to be consistent. And anyone who's ever did any form of counseling or therapy or grief therapy, they tell you to look at yourself
Correct.
and spend time correcting yourself and not projecting
On other people.
on the other person or other people.
I agree.
So we have to be responsible in taking back that 50%. We're amazing as a culture.
we are
We're
amazing.
beautiful women. We're resourceful.
Very.
And the energy that we embody is
magnifying.
amazing. Exactly. So we have to fix this 50%, and we can't keep pointing the finger. We have to do better by us. And I know that we all, I'm divorced. We all have to get out and make it happen, right? And you have to make it happen. I have 3 kids in college. You have to go and make it happen on a high level. I get it. I like nice things. I get it. However, that's a season. If I want to be married, there has to be a shift.
It has to be some accountability there as well. When you said you have to look at yourself, you can look at yourself, but if you're not taking that accountability, if you're not saying, I'm the problem, I'm the issue, then that's an even bigger issue.
I agree.
Where am I the problem?
So,
Right, absolutely.
yeah. So, what an amazing Saturday afternoon, right? We're all so passionate and so knowledgeable. I want to invite you guys to a birthday party that my girlfriend Toki and I are doing at the Dollhouse. We're doing it December 7th. Is that the 7th?
December 7th.
December 7th, 9051 South on Stony Island. I'm having 2 parties, but that's one of the first. And you have to bring a toy. So we get to party for a donation. Yeah, just bring a toy because we're gonna donate.
Yeah, they're doing a toy drive. That's
Toy
amazing.
drive.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a toy drive. So you get to party, bless the children, and celebrate Toki and I because, as anyone know, it's been our birthday since September.
And that's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, December 7th.
Yes, and I have a upcoming conceal and carry class December 21st and 22nd. 844-426-6232 or find us on social media outlet at JBL Training Academy. 844-426-6232.
Fantastic.
And I am at www.anointedaccounting.com. I'm also on all social media platforms at Anointed Accounting. You can also reach me at area code 312-837-7219.
And I'm Crystal. You can reach me at Keller Williams, but you can reach me at Crystal, CrystalLewis at kw.com via email. You can also contact me at 312-877-6687. I can help you with all of your real estate needs from investing to residential to commercial. And also I can give you your lovely lingerie for when you purchase your home. So reach out to me.
That is fantastic. And also, you can catch us tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow is $1 million of funding small business summit. That is at Zicomo's Suites, 6343 Southwestern Avenue in Chicago. If you don't have your tickets yet, go get them. www.americandreamtaxoffice.net and get your tickets. They're $75. It's a very small investment for the amount of information and just possibilities that you're going to encounter tomorrow. I'm so excited. So yeah, that is tomorrow from 1 to 7 p.m. Hope to see everybody there. And you can reach me at www.couturemusicmgmt.com, on Facebook, Alexis Arce, and all social medias at CEO Lexi Couture. And I do want to thank you for tuning in to the Super Businesswoman Show on Intellectual Radio.
Goodbye, good world out there. See you next time.